right, what's up, y'all? We are back. All right. What's good? Good to be here. It's kind of weird. I feel like I've been gone for a lifetime. Haven't been live with you guys in a minute here. So, good to be able to trade with you guys, just chop it up here, go over some markets. Big shout out to the squad, the syndicate squad that's been holding it down in the school. So if you've been on this YouTube, if you've been missing it on the YouTube stream and you're not in the school community, definitely go and check that out if you're not in there. There's always just extra value, resources, and things like that. So if ever I'm not on, typically someone hosts a session there. So you guys shouldn't miss out on that. But yeah, and then let me know if you guys can hear me. I feel like I'm looking at my bandwidth or my frame rate over here, and it looks like I'm dropping. So just let me know if you guys hear me here. Otherwise, good. All right, cool. Sweet. All right, cool. So yeah, good to have you guys on here. I see you. What's up, Harshi? Again, thanks for hosting for us here. You guys absolutely crushed it. What's up, Corey, Seth, Joe, the trio right there. If you got some value from them, that's literally like our traders from the syndicate program running it, so you can see how well it duplicates over time. So you got some value from them, show some love in the chat. What's up, Nick, Patrick, Vaughn, Evan, what's up, Brandon, Emmanuel, Jose, ¿qué tal? Good. What's up, Emmanuel? Okay, cool. Well, guys, let's get into it. We have New York Open here in about 10 minutes. And then the game continues. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna see where are we in this, because not just because I've been gone for a while, but it's good to have a macro perspective on what's happening with indices, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, S&P. We'll look at metals, so we'll look at oil. We'll look at everything here. So let me go ahead and switch this back over so you can see my screen, and we'll be good to go. So from here, now here's my take so far. So NASDAQ is, I would say we're kind of squeezing still. We had these lows from early in June 9th, June 11th. We kind of had this shakeout type of vibe going on, and then we ended up getting into we end up seeing a distribution form right over here. So I'm gonna just go with NQ. We end up seeing a distribution right over here where NASDAQ tries to break above and then fails. So it's really struggling to get above the all-time high that happened on June 3rd. From here, again, we work our way down, a clean rebalance. Looks like we got into mitigation territory over here as well. So the market comes down, imbalances, and then we see the market just, reverse off of this last sell-off and then continue. And then from here, so zooming in on higher time frames, we've seen higher highs. The market gives us healthy retracements, and then you have lower lows, lower highs. The market tries to make lower lows, in which it fails, to then and then it followed by a clean push down continuation. So on Tuesday, June 30th, we trade above the previous high for another day. That for me confirms that, okay, on the 1 hour we're bullish again. So buys over time will make sense, and then we get into healthy pullbacks. So the market here works its way all the way down, so we see the market quickly and aggressively push down to here, mitigate these levels, so we see huge sell-off reverse right there. And then right now, so where are we at right now? What stage are we at? I think that NQ is bullish, so I think we can expect to see the market continue to go higher. The way that we aggressively crash on Thursday in New York session and then come right back in, this does give me some sort of a shakeout type of setup. And then we end up kind of just consolidating here for a Tokyo session. So the market trades right into this huge pump right there. And then as soon as we get into here, it immediately sells off. So a couple things that we want to answer ourselves is this it? Like, was this the pump? Has this mitigated now? So it looks, I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that as soon as it gets here, it just sells off during the open of the week. At the same time that Bitcoin gets into a pretty clean mitigation zone. So that, I think that we are seeing the sell-off. And then the question is this still valid? Like, should we be looking for buys somewhere down here? Because when the market breaks down, comes back, this looks like a break and retest. So it looks like you would have sellers happening here. So could this be enticing sellers into the market? I think it's definitely possible. And so can we see reversals, especially because there's kind of a mitigation here? As we zoom in more and more and more, you'll notice how we had a pretty big drop off right here. Market pushes down right over here, rallies. There's another imbalance here as well. However, with this imbalance down here, this is a little bit riskier to trade. So I do think we could see indices want to get below London lows and Tokyo lows. So clearing these levels of liquidity, I could definitely see that. Like, no problem. But the question is, one, we still have to look at Dow Jones. We want to take a look at S&P. And then, is there a sell? Maybe that we can, if for example, if there's easy targets, so for example, the London lows are very easy targets, Tokyo lows, this imbalance, those are all places that seem pretty likely for the market to get to, right? But, or if we have that, then we can kind of start looking for clues. So is there something that is there evidence anywhere that would give us the opportunity to sell down there? And that's what I don't really have on NASDAQ right now. NASDAQ for me right now is leaving liquidity, equal highs, Tokyo highs over here. There's not like a motive to sell. So it's not, I'm not really, as much as I'd want to be in a sell somewhere, and I think we could work our way lower, I don't really have it here. But that doesn't mean that we can't have that with Dow. So let's take a quick look at Dow Jones and see if that makes any more sense. And one thing you're going to see is, remember, NASDAQ really starts to work its way down about 30 minutes ago, while Dow has been working its way lower and lower and lower since 3 a.m. Central Time. So for the last 5.5 hours. So it's definitely way more bearish for Dow here, even though, on the other hand, Dow on the higher time frames has been extremely bullish. Super, super, super bullish, but it kind of looks like we're now officially getting stronger reversals, right? As of right now, Dow definitely has more incentive to go lower. We saw the market rebalance over here, mitigate these highs, and then start to push its way down further and further and further. So if it stays like this, I wouldn't be surprised if we keep going lower. Something that's kind of interesting that I'm surprised about is that we do have this right here, right? We have equal highs right over here. Where is it? Whatever. The settings button isn't working for some reason. Give me a sec. I can take a look at Euro, sure. Give me a sec though. It's like less important right now for me. Obviously, there's a sense of urgency with New York Open here in a second. So we have been seeing since the London session, Dow go lower and lower and lower. So then the question is, okay, can we sell? You have during London a nice pump, and then the market starts to drop. Here we just broke above this low about 2 hours ago. So we've been trading below this low over here for a couple hours. So the question then becomes, is it worth shorting Dow over here? Is this fair? Like, if there's an imbalance here, big money comes in to take out Tokyo highs and then drops. Since we have New York Open here in a minute, and these are starting to move in different directions, classic indices not making life super easy. I think this is where we'll get our first time to make a decision here. So they are moving in opposite directions, which does make, at least for me, I can kind of treat these independently from one another. But they have to stay like that. They have to stay going in opposite directions, which right now they're really not. Right now they're kind of moving in unison. So Dow is absolutely ripping. Look how fast Dow just came into this zone. Do I want to sell here right now? No, I do not. I don't want to sell this. Remember, there's multiple time frames. So we break below here for a little bit, but instantly we start seeing Dow reverse, and look, you avoid a loss right there. And then it looks like these highs that we marked up over here for Dow, looks like Dow just took these out. Look at that. So let's go to one screen, make it really easy to look at here, the market. Now we've seen Dow take out London highs. We saw it take out this liquidity right here that it hadn't done. And so now this kind of looked like a shakeout. Like it built up liquidity, took this all out. Honestly, we could possibly see a sell-off from here on Dow. Not worth me trading over here, but money has been swept, right? We're looking at S&P, London highs getting taken out, Tokyo highs are over here, so this is pretty close of getting swept as well. That right there. And then the market just hasn't traded up into this imbalance for S&P in a minute. So you saw the highs get swept over here, you saw the lows get swept over here. So there's motive for the market to reverse, whether it's up here or down here. This is very similar to NASDAQ. What's up, Mike? What's up, Samad? All right, so what's leading the movement? Dow Jones, way more bullish than everything else. NQ now also working its way higher after that big spike down. Huge spike to the downside, obliterates London lows, and then immediately comes back up. So if you're talking about structure, are we getting the clearest set of structure here? Not really. Like NQ was working its way down for a bit. Huge spike below London lows, and then instantly reverses. So we don't really trade down here for too long. It looks like price at these levels, sellers are not winning by any means here yet. So what do we do? What can we confirm? We can confirm that this batch of liquidity has been swept. London highs for Dow Jones, for YM, and these equal highs up here. This works. So liquidity, there's money over here that has been swept. So could reverses come into play here? They could. However, I would want us to start seeing a shift in momentum, which we kind of are seeing. Dow is pushing up slowly. It's like struggling to keep pushing higher. You can see that. While NQ came into the zone right here. Remember I said, like, okay, you could see sells out of this area because it does spike above here. But for me, the issue with this is just like the market is not really giving us strong lower lows over here. 20, 30 minutes. So it's just not my favorite. This type of market conditions, I don't love this. And I'm okay with just not really being in the market when the market moves like this. So could this work out? Maybe. Would I feel conviction on sells right here? No. So for me, if I were to take a position here, it would be because of, I would want to be in the market. It would be because, oh, you know, I kind of see this setup. You know, it's kind of there, but it's not really like my exact setup. It would be more out of a feeling. And guys, feelings in the market, it's designed to be misleading. So do I have the confirmations to put money into this trade? No. And so even though there was a bit of evidence, like, okay, cool, there's a liquidity sweep, that's not all it takes, right? We want confirmation on direction. We want to understand where are there more buyers and sellers really sitting at. And that's kind of the power of structure, right? Structure helps you really get a better understanding on where the market can go. What I am starting to get a bit of like an inclination towards actually is this Dow, right? For Dow to sell off. Dow sitting in this zone over here. We have a lot of liquidity down here. This is kind of starting to give me a bit of anticipation that we could get down to these levels. I wanted to sell a little bit above this area, but it was the first to move to the upside. So Dow was the one that I'm like, oh man, something's kind of giving me a feeling that we could keep going. NQ did end up surviving in this, and we are seeing it crash down. Dow starting to push lower as well. And so let's say I would have taken Dow. Look at how aggressively this came back down. So I would move my stops at least to over here now if you were to take Dow Jones. And for all we know, we could be setting up for a shakeout setup. So now that we've seen the market liquidate London highs and instantly, wow, what a drop. Let's go. Aggressive drop. So if you took this over here, guys, well done. If you had some sort of, you know, incentive or feeling, like if you consider this overall movement here kind of a shakeout for sells, then I mean, yeah, you're in business over here, and this is a beautiful, beautiful move. But what we could see is this happen again. So let's say we were to see the market kind of, you know, give us a good old break and retest like this, lure in some retail buyers, then I'm open to selling and continuing this further down. So we'll stay aware, right? We'll stay on the lookout here. And then NQ, holy shit. What a so, yo, okay. So with the 1 minute switching directions and the 1 minute giving the lower lows for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, apparently that was enough. Apparently that was enough structure for money to come in and absolutely melt this thing down. I mean, this would have, I'm imagining take profits on this were hit if you had it. Took the high on mini. It took the high on mini. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, regardless, it wasn't a valid trade for me. Like it wasn't something to take. But it's just interesting to see that. And I think NQ dropped off more because of what we were seeing on Dow. Right, Dow taking out those London highs, etc. So anyways, now that we're seeing the highs are not sustaining too well. We're seeing NQ, Dow, S&P, everything is just melting away. So here's the thing. When you're looking at this and there's uncertainty, there's not clarity, it's not like fitting your just what you would take, like it doesn't fit for you. You got to remember, the first move isn't the only move. Like you might get a different one. You might get something that has more confirmations, that has like your exact textbook model or something close enough to it, and that's okay. Like that's it. Where you start to make mistakes is when you live in the mind of should-haves. When you live in the mind of, oh, this is what I could have done. So let me just explain real quick. Give me a sec. I can change this again. Okay, we're back there. And we're here. Gotta switch something up real quick. Thank you. Alright, sorry guys. The software in the camera gets crazy when I start to do a couple things here. Alright. We're good here. Good here. Alright, sweet. Okay, so when you start living in a mindset where like you need to be in the market right away, where you need to be in the market as soon as it just feels like you should, that's when you start to make mistakes. Like there's a moment where you're gonna have the desire to open a trade, buy, sell, when the moment's not right for you. Like it doesn't match your setup, it doesn't match anything that you're supposed to be doing. But because there's movement, because there's volatility, it feels like you're losing out on opportunity, but you're not. You're not losing out on opportunity. There's gonna be another one. So you gotta really check yourself. Am I operating through a place of scarcity right now? What's the difference between taking the first trade in the first 10 minutes that kind of looks like maybe it would work, which isn't a duplicatable opportunity, versus, okay, letting the market move. Sure, you miss out on some volatility, but then later you get the setup that you know is duplicatable, you know you have an edge in, you know that if you were to win, it makes sense. It's something that you can do over and over again. And if you were to lose, you can fully accept that. Not just the loss, but the risk, the entire part of the actual trade. So whenever you're feeling like you're like all of a sudden your hand is like, oh, it's itching. It's itching to be in the market. You got to remind yourself, like, all right, hold on. This is not some unique, once in a lifetime moment. There's going to be another one. That's okay. So just think about it. Okay, so look at the difference now. NQ, as much as it dropped off here, and here's the thing, I wanted buys as well, but we just didn't have the setup either. When we spiked down, took out London lows, I was thinking, okay, there's a chance maybe we get buys in here later, but we don't get higher highs. We don't get, like, this is just a mess. So, all right, nothing I look at a trade here. Now, Dow, on the other hand, working all the way back down. Some of you might be enticed. You're like, oh, let me buy Dow down here. Look at what NQ just did. Well, maybe Dow is going to do the same thing. And hey, you know what? Maybe it is. But is this duplicatable for you? If you were to take this and you win this time, are you going to take it again? And then if you lose and you lose and you lose, like, are you building your trading system? Are you improving your trading system with every trade you take? If you're not, then you're making it worse. Then you're giving yourself conflicting ideas. And if you're giving yourself conflicting ideas as a trader, all you're doing is creating chaos in your mind. All you're doing is making it so you can't trust anything. what you, as a trader, with the entries that you're taking, you're building trust towards some type of opportunities. But if you take anything, you know the phrase, if you don't stand for anything, then you stand for nothing. And it's the same thing. If you stand for everything, you stand for nothing. So you can't just be throwing your money at the market all willy-nilly. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have some sense of direction here. And that's when how you end up with 143 trades in a day. So, which is okay if they all were based out of something that makes sense to you. And here's where I want to be, again, a bit more specific, because I think this is useful. And remember, guys, like, so many things are going to work sometimes. Eventually, something will work. So, because you have support and resistance traders, you have trend line traders, you have break and retest traders, you have smart money traders, you have, within the smart money, if you will, world, the narrative of the fact that there's these higher powers in the market, within that you have so many different ways of looking at the market. Order blocks and mitigation, and you have, inversions, you just have a million different ways of trading. Okay, all of these things at some point are going to give you an opportunity. But if you trade everything, especially when some of these ideas are conflicting, then you're going to have no idea what to do with yourself. You're either going to be in way too many trades, and here's the biggest and the most important part. This is the most important part of like the psychology of different entry models. You will struggle to lose. Not that you're going to struggle on like, oh, you're never going to lose. No. That when you lose, you're going to struggle accepting it. You're going to struggle accepting your losses if you don't really ever fully commit and accept the entries. Like if your entry model is like, if you have like 8 different ways that you're trading, then whenever you're wrong, you're just going to say like, oh, well, I'm wrong this way, but if I look at it from a different angle, now, no, it can play out. And then you take it again. One of the ways that I see traders marry a bias is that they have a directional bias in the market, and they'll take a position based off of a specific model, but then they lose. And instead of losing and accepting, okay, I guess my bias was just wrong, then they're like, well, no, it's still got to go down. But actually, I'm going to use this entry model now, and then I'm going to use this one. And then you end up losing. It should have been one trade. You end up losing in 4 different ways. And then it can even spiral. So now there's this domino effect, and shit's hitting the fan over here, right? Because now there's like, all of this is going sideways, only because it only really happened because you never accepted it. And then it gets worse because now you're sizing up because you want to make it back and all that. So just, I'm just giving you guys something to think about here. But okay, anyways. So what I buy in here, I personally wouldn't buy. And the reason I wouldn't buy is because for me, NASDAQ is way more bullish. So can this go up from here? Sure. Could Dow go up from here? Sure, that's fine. It could. But do I want to be involved in that, knowing that it could also go down because of these lows and liquidity? It can go down too. So I would rather not get in the slow bull, because right now that's what it is. And I would rather go and take a short up here because this looks like it's good, it's doing what I wanted it to do, right? It worked its way all the way here. We're loading up retail buyers and buyers and buyers and buyers. If I was in sells, would I still hold? I would take profit on Dow. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would take profit on Dow. I mean, yeah, I would take profit because if this is going to set you up for a different opportunity, or maybe partials, But if you're going to get another opportunity here later, then I mean, you're going to get another opportunity. But if you're already in sells up here and you're in the stronger bear, there's a chance it doesn't come up as well. So I think taking something out of the market here is very fair. I think having no risk on the table here would be what makes sense as well. This could easily rebalance, or this could easily just say, you know what, I don't even give a shit. We're just going to melt from here again. So I think you're in a good position from a selling perspective. If you're up all the way up here, which I know you are, you're up about 150 points or something. I don't know, you wouldn't buy it, but if you were in sells, would you still hold? Is it because where we're at in the market? No, I was only saying because if, like, you could guarantee yourself profits here, and then if the market, if everything sets up nicely, you can just take a sell again later. And this way, at least you for sure got some profits, and you eliminate any possibilities. Because, well, let's think about it. What's better, right? So let's think about it from like a money perspective on top of a technical perspective. If you know you're up, let's just say $500, and you can lock in $500 for sure right now, or you can possibly get stopped out and you make $100 over here, or possibly it goes in your favor and you end up making $1,000 down here. So what do you prefer? Right? I would say, okay, well, or what would I be more at peace with as well? So, all right, taking some partials. All right, maybe I take 250. I have no more risk on the table. And then if I get another opportunity, cool, I take another setup because it's a completely different setup. And then on the off chance that it doesn't even give that and it keeps going, cool, you still have a runner. So it's like you kind of get the best of all the worlds, and you minimize your exposure. You guarantee that you get something out of a good trade that you took. And then you still have the possibility of the market rewarding you because you're just already directionally in the right place. So that's how I would approach it when we get into like these, okay, well, within the session, this is a highly probable exit for like intraday, intra-range. This is great. Like, this is where you should take some profit. Fill the imbalance completely. Okay, that's fantastic. Now, does the market have the opportunity to, let's say, dropping down to 53? Yeah. Could it go down to 52 and change? Yeah. It could. So if I was in this, I'd take some here, and then go from there. 53, 290, 51, 296, or 51.96, or 50.96. You put 53, 296, but we're way below that. Oh, okay, 299. Okay, cool. Okay, so looking at this, look at how NASDAQ is on a mission. NQ ripping. Okay, absolute bullish. I'd love to see where we can get to with this taking out Tokyo highs. So okay, that's great. Market's moving. Let's see. This helps me. This gives me more clarity on Dow. I think Dow could work its way up to here now, and we can see some good sells. So if we can get up into this range, then I'm down for shorts. And the market, for risk reward wise, the best case scenario in my opinion would be for the market to get up to here. I would love a better risk reward, but unfortunately that's not really what I'm getting yet. So we'll see. So yeah, this is the shakeout for me. Big break of London highs. Market comes back and is retesting the previous ones right here. So luring in buyers. Classic break and retest buyers. Putting these buyers into profit makes sense. there might be a chance that the market wants to reject out of this 53,275 price, like right around here. RR here is not as nice as if it were to get up to here. So I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be waiting, see if we get there or not. Otherwise, market could just continue to crack lower and just call it a day. Wow, look at that, bleeding out. So it just took out the lows. 4R, nice. Yeah, good stuff. This is what I was talking about. So now I really wouldn't go for these, for the shakeout. Now that we broke these lows, shakeout for me is invalid. If Dow stays bearish, so let's say we keep trading here and we end up, just getting great structure below these lows, below this over here, then I could be in the market for sells later. It should probably take a couple hours, but then we might be in the market for sells over here and all that jazz. So we'll see how it goes. Nasdaq here, push down, continuations. So even this is still like, I don't really have an entry there. Nasdaq just building up liquidity over here. $30,042. Like right here, looking for sells. I don't like NQ sells right now because they're really bullish. Like Nas is just super bullish at the moment, so I'm not super in love with it yet. If we were to see maybe a price action change, so like for example, let's say all of a sudden Dow starts ripping bullish and NQ settles down, then I might be more open to shorting because we have this huge zone over here. Here's kind of where I feel like we get one more push higher, right over here. Yeah. So maybe I think I'm open to possibly, like, I'm just gonna watch price action here for NQ. If Dow is just on a push, then maybe things change. But right now, I don't know. And I kind of see your point, because the markets right now are moving in such a different direction. Like Dow only goes down, and Q keeps pushing higher. So we might get to a point here where we get a classic like, Dow liquidates on these levels. So right now we're seeing Dow clearing the lows, trading into maybe Thursday's low, New York session low over here. Like you have this spike down right here. So right now, all of YM's buyers are getting liquidated. Friday's gone. So like the last, market open, gone. So trading into this imbalance, you have a push down and you have another level here. Would I buy here with Dow? Not really. This still has way more bearish momentum while NQ is kind of struggling. So now that NAS is struggling to move, since these are moving in opposite directions, maybe I could see that. And meanwhile, S&P is just confused, just in between. All right, I haven't double checked, so y'all can. I don't think metals have done any sort of contract change or anything, so this should be okay. Let's see. Shorts on gold look good over here. So we have like this last spike up, which was Tokyo highs on Sunday. So we see the market make this move. One last push up. It's such a tiny move, actually. the smallest of moves up here. All right, so markets have been extremely bullish on metals all of July. Like July hit and just went, see ya. Just we out. So classic accumulation right here. I really didn't love this high, otherwise this buy was beautiful. Like this right here, and this was so good. If this structure would have been better, that would have given me a green light for swings. We did talk about that though. Remember, I was like, guys, if this were to break this weekly level low, this would trap the most money. So sick. That's playing out. The 1 hour time frame on metals is now bullish. So any deep pullbacks at some point are gonna, for me, it's gonna set up, you know, more continuations. Short term though, short term here. It looks like, are we seeing any, like we haven't even gotten a 5-minute break of this low yet. So I can't look for a shakeout here on gold. There's a little spike up, but like that's really it. The momentum is bullish, so careful when you're selling with so much momentum. We do have dollar news here in a second, in like 20 seconds. So I wouldn't short this yet. I would want to see this break below some of these lows and maintain these levels, most importantly. Oh, my bad. I was on the replay. Okay, we have already seen that. My bad. And then that makes way more sense why I drew this out. I was like, why did I draw this so early? But yeah, so with this news here, we could see it spike up. You saw the break below London lows. Honestly, kind of looks like a gold shakeout. But silver's a lot more bullish. All right, that's oil. Hold on. Let's see. London lows swept here. Rebalance filled. What does silver look like? What's the contract on silver? You? Is that you? Silver takes the lows, works its way back up. Get a little higher high on the 1 minute. Structure looks a little better for silver, if you ask me. Interesting. So, yeah, it looks like gold, kind of a shakeout here, builds up tons of retail resistance, spikes back down off the previous levels of support. Market buys from here. Silver didn't really spike as low as I kind of thought it could. So I intentionally didn't pull the trigger here like a minute ago when I was like, oh, hold on, shakeout is possible. This could keep going lower. If it doesn't, then this sell over here makes sense on gold. Anyone take a gold shakeout here? Anyone buy gold just now? Cool. So indices for me right now, no trades, just staying out of the market. Gold buy looked good enough. I think, I mean, I stayed out of that considering that we were just looking at this. Like silver, I feel like could have gone lower. So that could have pushed gold even lower. And I'm at peace with that. So no trade for me on that point of view. And then oil. Oil still, haven't really taken any oil trades in a minute here. We're still bearish on oil. So 4 hour bearish. 1 hour structure is bearish. The only thing that's bullish on oil right now is like you could say the 15 minute when we broke above Tuesday or Thursday's high. So Thursday here started giving us higher highs on oil. And then just during London, we come down, the market works its way all the way to this low. So huge spike down here. Market rebalances, continues. So oil right now, I mean, if you took buys, nice. But I don't have it. I don't see it. The trade that makes more sense for me right now, which would be a bit more clear, following structure, would be just trading within this 1 hour range. You have the high here from June 30th on Tuesday, like right when metals open, 8 a.m. So like in this zone, and then we can dive into the smaller time frame here. So we go 15-minute. You can see the 15-minute time frame here, and you get one more push higher right there. So market pumps right there, it takes out these highs, and then everything drops again. So look at the replay tool. You can use the replay tool right there. Get more detail. So you see how it comes into here and just absolutely rips before it drops down. So the money comes in right there. And I think we can get reversals out of here in the future. So yeah, I'm gonna be waiting to sell oil as we approach 71. So as soon as we get above 70.85, I'm definitely looking for shorts in here. And then where exactly does that look? For now, I'm liking my entries right above 71. Yeah, right in here. You've seen the market reject price at around 71.15 a couple times, 71.05. So I like my entries. I'm gonna go with 71.05 for now. And then I'm bearish, so I think we could hold this for a bit. Easy setup, in my opinion, is trading back down to this level, 69.26. Easy. This is like the easiest one. High probability exits, but honestly going lower. I still have it based off of higher time frames. Just us going lower. But intraday would look something like this. So I'm gonna actually share this oil one. I think this one's already basically just confirmed. It's just a matter of time. So, what are the buttons I do for this? Here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this. I'm gonna make a little post on this. Trade of today's trades. So we got that here. What's today? July something? July 6, 2026. Oil. All right. So we're a little bit away from this. Not something that would happen for today. So yeah, not unlikely this happens today, but keep it on your radar for the week. Okay. Okay, cool. Now, let's see, was Jose on here? Yeah, someone asked about Euro. Anyone want me to look at anything specific? Let me know. Someone asked about Euro earlier, so I haven't looked at majors in God knows how long. So yeah, let's see what's good. What's good? All right, so Australian, I mean, if there's any setup that looks pretty fire, there's like this low here. Thursday, 7 a.m. was NFP. Okay, that looks pretty solid. Nah, at least with Australian. So Yeah, Australian does a classic spike down. Beautiful. Where's the... Oh, here we go. Look at this bad boy right here. Sweep of liquidity. That's nice. Yeah, that's textbook right there. So let's see if that happens across the board with anything else. What is this? Is this NFP or am I wrong? Where was that? So I was off, so I don't even know if they gave an early NFP or not. Yeah, they did. Okay. Oh, that's a big difference. Okay, so that's what I thought. Alright, cool, nice. So I'm going to put an alert here for Australian if we work our way down here. It looks like the pound didn't really have the same type of effect. So pound drops, yeah, just not the same really at all. Pound has a different move lower. So I wonder if we're going to end up seeing the pound work its way down to this level around the same time that we see Australian work its way down as well. Okay. You said YM went crazy, like it's going to keep selling? Nice. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, we could work our way down more with Dow. Working our way down to these levels over here. Did NQ keep going higher? Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. So, I actually do like the NQ. I like the NQ sell at some point over here. Above 30,100. I think Dow has way more bearish momentum to the downside than NQ has bullish momentum. So I think Dow keeps going lower. But okay, going back to the dollar pairs, like I said, I think the pound could work its way probably to the lower zones. Would wonder how Australian moves together, so I'll keep these in mind. Euro. So someone asked about Euro. I guess it's in a zone right now. Like, I could see people wanting to buy in here. It's like, all right, cool, here's a spike down right before NFP, and then here's NFP. But I think the trade was the shakeout sell, break, the market doesn't stay here at all, so it comes right crumbling right back down. And then you get the good old break and retest. This lures in buyers, and then it's the bait and switch. Shakes them out, and then just, oh man, this is a good sell. What's up, Jay? Yeah, sell is nice. So, working our way back into here, Euro just looks a lot more bearish. Like, of all the dollar pairs, the Euro looks way more bearish than Australian, than the pound. So it wouldn't be I wouldn't be looking for buys with Euro, personally. The yen shorts were good in here. So what is this? Friday London session? Friday end of Tokyo session? Mitigation right there. Anyone catch that? Yeah, this looks nice. Nice little pump. Trade right out of there. Right back down. This continues bearish. I mean, the sells up here look good in the future. At some point. There's most definitely right here. some clean selling action over here. Yeah, market tries to go bullish. It really tries to break this like key area and then just struggles and struggles and struggles. So now we're back at, I think this is a very valid zone. It's probably going to take a minute, but at some point, yen is worth taking a stab at. So I'm going to share this. I'm going to throw a couple charts up into this in our setup, in our post right here. So this will be yen. Yen continues to maintain bearish structure. Stay patient for a sell here eventually. So I'm gonna do this. Let's see. On the radar for the week. And then if I have any that are like for the day, then I'll have like a different section for this within this post. So let me go back and point out the buy. So here's a potential buy on the pound. And then obviously all of these are in the school, so this is free. And we have this right here. So this is just, you can find that at the school at tradingwithmike.com. Here we go. Guys, one thing that I wanted to ask you guys, now this really wouldn't affect any of you since you're already in this school, but to minimize just bots and people who are, they just don't have good intentions in the school community, I was thinking of making the school, turning it for $1. Not really, and it wouldn't affect any of you that are already in. It would be for anyone that joins after the fact. So everyone that's already in this school, I mean, it's just free. It's like whatever. Like, I want you guys to have it for free. Now, honestly, I would just keep it for free. But we do have just some weird players in there. People that are doing weird stuff in there that just don't have good intentions. So I might turn it into a $1 thing, just so we have higher quality people in there, and people that aren't making weird DMs, weird posts, trying to scam people. So yeah, $1, and you guys are already all in there, so it wouldn't be like you would get started. You wouldn't start getting charged $1. You're already in for free. But yeah, so just so you guys are aware, if you see that change, make it 20. That's okay. I like having a place where like everyone has a shot, and this is free here, so I mean it's cool. But like I know like whether you've been trading or let's say you don't know anything about trading, I think that having a place where there's pretty low stakes to find out if it's for you is cool. That makes sense to me. And then once you're like, all right, now this is something I really want to commit to, because I do think that you have like, you need to understand that the same philosophy you have to getting a degree is what you need to have with trading. Like you need to have that. You need to understand that is the timeline, the seriousness of it. Like if you know, okay, you want to get your bachelor's, you want to get your master's, you want to get your doctorates, like you know, like this is some serious shit. Like I'm not playing around here. So before that, it's kind of what like I think community college made sense. You know, I didn't do that. I should have. because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But it's like, here's low stakes, figure out, you know, if it's for you. And then, oh, you're down? Like, you know, you get it. All right, cool. Double down. Fast track, syndicate. That stuff makes sense. $1 one time. Nah, I'd probably do like one. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. Would charging $1 even keep the shady folk out? I could maybe see it being useful for bots though. For bots, for sure, useful. Shady, I don't know. People don't typically like to pay anything. If you're there to scam, you don't want to pay to scam. Most of the time, that's not how that works. But yeah, anyways, that's just my thoughts. Also, right now for school discovery, it's they're rewarding like communities that look like that, like paid. Okay, I'm gonna do the Australian breakdown as well, but let me go to silver since it looks like we're seeing some movement there. All right, so silver now working its way to these areas that I liked. So here's where I was looking at this, and silver was kind of like breaking above and below. Right there. So, So this right here where we had a sell-off, the buys. So can we see silver rip from here? Or is it still going to be gold? Because look at how gold doesn't make a lower low. Gold stays bullish right there. Interesting. I think we could still see gold play out over here. I'm going to go half R with this one. Five macros on gold sign. It seems like a lot. And the reason I'm going with this with gold is because we were seeing silver break the lows here, this structure, while gold stayed still above. So I'm taking gold buys. This initially the trade is a shakeout for gold, but we saw that silver hadn't really gotten down to this level. It was lagging, but now gold isn't lagging. Gold was pushing. So, yeah, so I'm in here with gold. I'm in with 5 contracts. And then taking out these highs makes a lot of sense. This is a 1 minute TP, which would be a 3R. Let's see, silver. What you gonna do? Now, okay, so look, I'm still open to silver buys, but now this is pushing lower, so I might get stopped out of this. But look at where silver's at. Silver is still like over here. So silver might have a nice little play like right there. Let's see. Silver going lower a little bit. Gold briefly breaking below to come back up. Interesting. It could go either way. All right, I have some other alerts going off, so let's go check those out. Here we go. So that's just in motion. That's already running. Speaking of, I was gonna say motion. I know Lucid just did another promo for Lucid Pro accounts. I believe that it's 40% off, and then it's 3 days only to get to a payout, which is pretty sick. All right, so silver pushing up, gold ripping. Okay, nice. Let's see what these alerts were about. So S&P takes out the Tokyo high. Nice. Dow bouncing back, so Corey, your order block trade playing out beautifully. And then NQ is kind of chilling. Okay. Are indices all going to move in unison now, is the question. Interesting. S&P getting into like this imbalanced territory. All right. So you don't have to overcomplicate things, guys. You guys don't have to go and, you know, force any trades or get too crazy. Like, you can just observe without having to be in the market, especially if it's a little confusing, if you don't have the same kind of clarity that you wish you did. So basically, my perspective here is I'm looking for shakeout on gold, and it's you can say like mitigation on silver. Like, this is the move right there. So it's kind of like one or the other, maybe both. Like, we keep kind of working our way, slowly chopping our way down with silver, down and up and down and up. Gold hanging on for dear life here. That's why I went with half R here. If I notice that silver is going to be a better opportunity, maybe I'll pull the trigger. Or let's say gold takes me out, but silver is still holding into the range, then I might pull the trigger on silver here. Like, we're seeing it's getting pretty close. Aggressive moves down. But this is why you have to be able to accept the risk completely. This looks like it's rebalancing though. I like silver. I think silver is going to run. Let's see. What does this look like? I know I can't trade silver on some of these. Actual risk. Why is my risk not changing here? Okay. That's what I thought there. I could degen, trade a mini on silver. While out over here. Alright, gold hanging on for dear life. Okay, let's see. But now that silver did a nice, like, it's filling in balance really well over here. I like it. I think if it's gonna play out, it could play out now. And then the minimum move that I think we can see from silver, it's about 40 points, so that's a pretty good move. It's a good push. Way up here. That would really drive our gold trade. Check out the chat. What's good, chat? So cop some motion. Yeah, the code Mago works for sure on the Lucid accounts. Yeah, I think Lucid, Tradeify, Top 1. Not cool enough for TopStep, apparently. I will be announcing a new giveaway here soon too. So give me like a day or two. Get some prop accounts in your hands. Okay, there we go. You can do it. So, right, what does it take to move stops to the right place here with gold? You know, what are we looking for? Now, obviously, I've been here on the 1 minute. Let me zoom out real quick so we have just a clear understanding of where we're at in the market overall. Structure with gold is bullish. That's just the fact, right? Here was the last push down on gold. You had a kind of a key level right over here. And then we have this respect it, lure traders in before the market absolutely goes crazy over here. And so there's a lot of strength in price action over here in this zone specifically. So the market has been, you know, doing these bearish trends even though everything else is bullish. Like the 15-minute is bullish. The 5-minute started to flip back down to the downside. The 1 minute structure here is giving, you know, lower lows and lower highs and lower lows. So can this start to break above structure? I think it's pretty likely. This is very much a high probability and a great risk reward. 3R is fantastic. But can this go higher? Can this push towards London highs and you know, push towards some of these levels over here? I think there's a chance, but I'm gonna just go with high probability right now. I'm gonna just go with imbalance fill, take out the high, and be good with it, assuming it gets there. And then regarding management, like, okay, when do I take my profit on this? Well, all of this is gonna make sense when, especially if we see silver continue to push higher, like get that mitigation, because we see silver, right? Silver had the whole reason, right, was a big sell-off here, so you can buy silver. So silver pushing to like 62.39, that would basically give this trade a good, like wherever that would be is when I'd start to move my stops if it were to get there. And that would be the case, yeah. So I do have a little account that I can take a stronger position with if I want to. If I can pull that guy up. Right now it does look like silver is kind of has a bit more momentum. Would have passed 150K funded. Sick. Nice. Alright, someone said S&P sells potentially? You like S&P, don't you? I feel like, Jay, you like trading it. Yes, quite a bit. I could see it, yeah. I mean, you have, this is where we see the classic liquidity sweep. We don't get a strong close here. The lower low is just not great in my opinion, so I do think that we're more bullish than we are bearish. That's at least my point of view right now. And I think, where is this thing? I feel like we could end up seeing, like, I want to see where we get to with NQ, because NQ sell looks pretty solid over here as well. So I understand the shorts for sure. The fact that Dow didn't do this though, Dow breaks a low and immediately comes back. So Dow is giving more of like a shakeout kind of setup now as well. So I don't know, something about the market just continuing to go bullish is speaking to me here. We'll see. I'm gonna have to just play this based off of what price action overall is looking like across the board. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just play it by ear here. All right, so gold, we're just chilling around entry. Silver also relatively lax. Let's see where we go. Regarding trade management, I think if we start to break above like 41.57 over here, at this point I'll start to tighten up my stop. We got to take out some sort of liquidity. I mean, here is a small time frame imbalance fill. Would be price just getting up into this like 41.53 area over here. My risk on this trade, I believe, was like 250, 275 per account. So this trade should end up at around like 750 profit if all goes the way I think it can go. So decent trade. Silver playing up as well. It just looks like silver has the stronger momentum though. So that's why I don't want to get too aggressive with gold. Gold has the London highs here. So let's say we were to get silver to break these London highs. That would definitely be like to call it. I would probably call it there. But yeah, it looks like market's moving well. Looks like our entry is just about at a 1R. The risk was, what, 52 points, and we're up 40. Okay. Silver's moving nicely. So look at how silver's almost done with its mitigation. Remember, this was the move. This was the exchange. Here were the sellers. Huge dump on the seller's part. And then we're almost there. So it's definitely pushing through. Should be able to take out these highs at least for silver. I would have been in this had it just opened my trade, but props suck with silver, or some of them do. TopStep, I think you're cool with. And then we're at a 1R right now with gold. Let me know in the chat. Put some W's in the chat if you took gold buys or silver buys. You didn't get triggered in? Mm-hmm. Damn. I took both gold and silver, half risk between both of them. Nice. Let's go, DeAndre. Some W's, okay. Samad, that's what's up. Drevis, Berresueta, Brandon. Sweet. Let's see how it goes. I'm at the point where, with this imbalance fill here on gold, I'm going to tighten my stop to like right there. So I'm going to reduce my risk a bit, just in case this is just efficient and that's all I wanted to do and continue downwards. I'm at peace with just managing it this way. All right, got a little bit more time here. All right, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go back to, I know we were looking at pound and Australian. I didn't finish making all these adjustments. So like here was pound. Yeah, all right, so with the GBP, with bullish 1 hour structure. I like the lower zone. Keep an eye on other USD pairs. And then let's get Australian. This is a clean push. This just swept so well. All right, so here's Australian. This bullish setup would be mitigating NFP. looks like a textbook play. And then obviously gold is happening right now, so live trade. We have gold/silver, shakeout/mitigation buys. And that brings us to here. It's getting a little squirrely over here. Let's see. So these are basically the trades. All right, gold rebalancing again. Same with silver coming into here. Let's see if it holds up. All right. Basically back at entry now. Okay. All right, these are all saved. They're all in here now. So you guys can take a look at what I have on the radar for now. Indices are the ones that can just change so quickly. Those are the ones where, you know, things can evolve, things can set up here in just a second, in a couple minutes. So for now, I'm not, I haven't made a decision on whether I'm gonna look to short anything or long anything. Kind of just playing it by ear. I just want more and more data. Yeah. I'm a little bit more open to selling NQ if everything lines up. So keep that there. And then honestly right now, what I want to just, before I wrap up, I kind of want to see if we get gold to break above again or silver to get above these highs and then call it for the session. Silver getting pretty close to that mitigation. At that point, then the trade's risk-free, and you guys, I mean, there's nothing else you can do. But here's the question. This is now more of a trade management question, and I think it's important that you got to ask yourself these things. But when gold started to reverse on you here, starts to go down, did you panic? Did you exit the trade? Or same thing with silver. Did you start doing anything funky? Or did you just hold down the line? Be honest with yourself. Write these things down. Track these things. And I ask you this because you got to understand what starts to make you make impulsive decisions. What triggers bad habits, bad decisions. Look at how gold is working its way down faster than silver. That's just signs that silver definitely is way more bullish right now. And honestly, a part of me wants to keep the low a little bit lower since silver hasn't mitigated yet the stop. But this rebalanced well, so I'm kind of, I don't know how I feel about it. So it'll be all right. But we'll leave it there. You guys know, how to manage this moving forward, and I'll make a post based off of what happens with this trade. Whether it's very good or whether it's very shit. But guys, I will be doing, and I'm gonna drop a link to this. I just want you guys to be aware. I'm gonna be doing a training, a deep training on what I call trading purgatory. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive on that. You guys will have a link to register for that here in the future. sometime this week. But just so you're on the lookout. And then I've been working on something behind the scenes for a few months now, and yeah, I'm super excited to share that as well, a separate thing. But more on that later this month. But guys, much love as always. It feels good to be back here hanging out with y'all, and we'll be back. We'll be here all week. All right, so I'll see you in the school community. I'll see you guys on the lives, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, gang.